bubbles! Today we're talking about bubbles, if you couldn't tell from me having a container of bubble solution right in front of me. Haha! Any kid in a restaurant will tell you that blowing bubbles into their drink is super fun. But the bubbles don't stick around. They just blow and then come out of your drink. But if you add a little bit of dish soap, and don't drink your drink after this, the bubbles start to stick around. And this is because of something called surface tension. Water has a lot of surface tension. That is water's ability to stick to itself and kind of form a skin. If you've ever dropped water onto a penny and watched it bulge over the sides before finally breaking, you're looking at the surface tension of water in action. So when you blow air into the water tries to surround that air pocket, but because of its surface tension, it doesn't want to surround it entirely. It's going to break or pop. If we add a little bit of soap, let's add some more in there, that decreases the surface tension of the water and lets the water and soap film surround that air pocket and form a bubble. So much fun! And the reason bubbles are spheres are because those water and soap molecules want to be as close to each other as possible. And the shape that makes them as close to each other as possible while still trapping that air inside of there is a sphere. So now we have spherical bubbles. That's why bubbles are always a sphere, and this poor table is getting an absolute beating. Let's listen to my bubbles. So you can buy bubble solution from the store, which makes good bubbles, but we can also make some at home. So let's go and do that. But let me clean up first. Alrighty, got everything here we need to make our own bubble solution. So we're going to start out with a cup of warm water, and then we're going to need 2 tablespoons of sugar. Just hold with me. Next, we're going to need 2.5 tablespoons of corn syrup. That's sticky corn syrup. I got smart this time. I finally put a towel down to protect my table. Alright, 2.5 tablespoons of corn syrup, and then 2.5 tablespoons of dish soap. Yeah, there you go. You're like, oh yeah, that's a reasonable ingredient to put in the bubble solution. Alright, so now we're just going to stir that all up. As I mix this up, you may be wondering, why is there sugar in my bubble solution? Well, sugar, scientifically, actually will reduce how fast the water in the bubble evaporates. And when you reduce how fast the water in the bubble evaporates, the bubble will last longer, because it's the water evaporating that will eventually make the bubble pop. Alright. Get that all mixed together. I'm going to steal the bubble wand out of my other bubble situation here. I'm going to give this a try. Look at that! Did you see it? It bounced and it lasted a little time on the table. Let's see if I can make it happen again. I don't know if you guys can actually see it. That's a big bubble. Let's see. Ignore the ironing board in the background. So now I have some bubbles stuck to my table. And these have been here for a while. That's that sugar helping them to stay here. That's the wrong bubble solution. Now that we've blown some bubbles on the table and have had fun just, blowing some bubbles because that's always fun, we're going to try and freeze a bubble. I know, isn't that crazy sounding? So if the weather you have outside is below freezing, go out and try blowing a bubble with this homemade bubble solution and watch it and see if it'll freeze. Now, I came up with this video idea when my weather outside was below freezing, and since then, we've gotten hit with a bit of a warm front, thus ruining my ability to try and do this hot side. So I'm going to try to do it in the freezer. So, let's try to freeze a bubble. Hello, so welcome to my absolute failure of an attempt to freeze a bubble within my own freezer. I was just trying to blow bubbles onto a cold plate and stick it back in my freezer without having them pop. And spoiler alert,
they all in fact did pop, and I was very sad that this didn't work out. But I decided to ask my mom, who lives in Wyoming where it's freaking freezing, if she could go outside and blow some bubbles and see if they froze, and she responded with many a picture. So thank you, Mom. We appreciate your service.
That's just a little bit more about the science of bubbles and how they form and why they're spheres. And we got to make our own bubble solution and hopefully potentially froze a bubble. Thanks, weather outside, for not cooperating with me. But bubbles are super fun science that I feel like we do a lot. Like kids, bubbles are very popular, but you don't stop and think about like how cool it is that the water and soap is coming together to form this film, trapping air, and forming a cool bubble in the end. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, check me out on Instagram, support me on Buy Me a Coffee if you wish, and keep it sciencey! But you can't talk. Today we're talking about bubble! I'm making a mess.